Hey everybody, nice to have you back again. Today I thought we'd discuss something that is something that I normally don't talk about, and that's saddleback leather. But the reason I want to discuss it today is because I've had some comments lately from people who say, "Hey Jim, you ought to check out saddleback leather," or "What's the matter? Don't you like saddleback leather?" or "How come you never review it?" And yes, I've heard of saddleback leather. I have been a customer of Saddleback from the very beginning, since the time when they only had one product. It was the briefcase, and if you wanted to buy one, you would go on eBay and you would bid for them one at a time. Dave had this great big long kind of treatise on the leather and the bags and the construction and his life and all that, and it was kind of funny. 3/4 of the way down through this book that you were reading on eBay, he'd say, if you're still reading this, then you're really interested in, quality and blah, blah, blah. And but I've been purchasing from Saddleback since those days, since before the website went up. And I purchased all the colors that they've had, and the color that I kind of landed on was the tobacco brown, which is what this is. And the reason is, for me, is not necessarily the color, but I find the tobacco brown to be the least objectionable feel for the leather. The other leathers to me felt more kind of synthetic or artificial. But I'm not here to review this bag, which is the Large Satchel. I'm basically here to kind of talk about what I like about saddleback leather, and perhaps what I'm not a big fan of, the aspects that I'm not a big fan of, and just to kind of address that. First of all, the bag, this is the Large Satchel. They make probably 50 different products by now. Everything from wallets to card holders to luggage, and everything in between. But this is the Large Satchel. It's made with chrome tanned leather. So chrome tanned leather is kind of got a, I don't know, it feels kind of like a work boot. Like if you went down and, bought some new work boots, this is kind of what they feel like. Or back in the day, you go and buy some hiking boots. They were all made out of leather. This is how it would feel when you first bought it. And it's, for me, I'm not a big fan of chrome tanned leather, but a lot of people love it. And, if you were to compare apples to apples, chrome tanned versus veg tanned, which is more durable, which is nicer, what's the best to get, you can't really answer that in one quick, easy synopsis, because it depends on what you're going to use the leather for. Okay, so in a bag like this, chrome tanned leather, which is something that can be tanned relatively quickly, sometimes within a few hours to a day or two, you can get some usable leather to work with, as opposed to vegetable tanning, which can take days to weeks to even longer than that. It's still cowhide, it's still leather, and it's going to age differently. Chrome tanned leather is going to age differently than vegetable tanned leather, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, if that's what you like, then wonderful. What do I like about Saddleback? I love the designs. The designs are fantastic. They're so versatile. They're just designed to be used in a number of different ways, which I like. They are, the proportions are wonderful. The construction is fabulous. The construction is just second to none. All of the stress points are reinforced. There's nylon reinforcing running through the straps or the tethers for the hardware. The hardware is all solid cast hardware. It's not cheap, flimsy, imported stuff. It's just beautifully designed and beautifully built, which I'm just a big fan of that. My only kind of hesitation to use it more often is just the leather. The leather to me is not something that you go, ooh, and fawn over and, want to caress it and, condition it with mink oil or neat's foot oil and just, oh, it's my baby. It doesn't have that kind of feel. It's more of in my opinion, a tool to be used. So if you have some instruments or, your laptop, your iPad, your cell phone, your files, books, pens, things like that you carry on the job, then, and you don't really have to fall in love with your bag, you just use it more as a tool. This is the bag for you. This is it's going to last you forever. It's comfortable. One of the things I really like is the shoulder pads. The shoulder pad actually has some closed cell foam in there that is not going to break down over time, and it really does support on your shoulder. It's really well designed. These shoulder pads came from the same bag, and you can see kind of the inconsistency in the color of leather. That doesn't bother me too much. When you tan leather, especially chrome tanned leather, you're going to get variations from one hide to the next. They're not going to be exactly the same from one hide to the next. When you get leather like that, that's because they've been treated after the tanning process where they've been sanded and painted and different coatings applied, and it makes all the leather look perfectly uniform from years back. But Saddleback's not that way. That's one of the things I kind of like about it. I'm just not a fan of the leather. If it were made from vegetable tanned leather, I would probably own every piece that they make. Or if there were a vegetable tanned option that I could buy, I'd be all over it. I'd be buying it. I just like the way vegetable tanned leather breaks in and wears as you use it on a daily basis. What this leather will do, it starts out kind of stiff. Here is a brand new product, and it feels like a work boot. It feels like a new work boot. It's stiff. Again, the tobacco to me has the kind of least objectionable feel. It feels kind of like a nubuck. It just feels more like leather than the other ones that just have kind of a synthetic feel to it, but people purchase them. I purchase leather because of the way it looks and how it feels, and some people just purchase because they like the color. They are a fan of a particular color, chestnut or black or what have you. But so even between these two bags, you can see a difference. They start out kind of stiff, and the more you use them, the softer they become. They will get to the point where all of the kind of internal structure in the leather, all of those collagen bonds and fibers will really break down, and the leather will become really pretty floppy after a while. This one's been used quite a bit, so it's getting softer. And it will get to the point where it almost puddles. And for me, I'm not a big fan of that. I just don't care for that. That's just my personal preference. There are millions of you out there who buy this stuff and just absolutely love it, and I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I don't have anything bad to say about it other than I prefer vegetable tanned leather over chrome just because of the feel. The new lining, pigskin lining, is a lot softer than it was. It used to be like sheet plastic. It used to just scratch and feel just like sheet goods plastic in there, which might have been durable, but I have no idea how they tanned it to get it to feel like that. It was like they tanned it and then coated it with a thin layer of plastic. I don't know how they did that, but this is more keeping with how leather should feel. Big fan of the design, big fan of the construction. It's just built so well. It's going to last virtually forever. I just wish it were vegetable tanned, or I had a vegetable tanned option that I could click and purchase. I would be buying a lot more of it. If you don't have a lot of experience with vegetable tanned leather and this is kind of what you bought, and this is all you know, it's wonderful. That's fantastic. You just, keep buying it. It's wonderful stuff. It's going to last you forever. Again, I see these more as a kind of a work tool and not so much something that I want to be necessarily seen carrying or just loving the feel of it. I just don't love the feel of it. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with it. It's not to say that it's not going to be as durable. It is durable. It's just that's just my particular feeling. I'm just a big fan of vegetable tanned leather goods, and so I just wanted to address that. Yeah, I've heard of Saddleback, heard about them for years, owned a lot of their products, used a lot of their products. Wish it were vegetable tanned or I had a vegetable tanned option to choose from. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.